Yesterday on the John Campea Show, we were talking about the fact that we had two big major animated films coming out, and they were releasing on the exact same day. That is Transformers 1, and it's the new Lupita Nyong'o animated film, The Wild Robot, both scheduled to open on September 20th. Now, movies open on the same day all the time, but very rarely will you get movies appealing to the same demographic. That you don't often, if ever, get two comic book movies opening on the same day, or two disaster movies opening on the same day, or two rom-coms opening on the same day, or two big animated feature films opening on the same day. Well, that's what we had. So on yesterday's John Campea Show, we asked two questions. Number one, will one of them move? And number two, if one of them moves, which one moves? To which we answered, one, yes, I believe one of them will move. And two, the one I think will move is The Wild Robot. 3 hours after the John Campea Show ended, I can only assume the studio heads were watching the show, because the announcement came out that Wild Robot, a release date, had been delayed. Not by much, just by 1 week. This comes to us from the folks over at Coming Soon who wrote, per deadline, DreamWorks Animation has officially changed the Wild Robot release date for the upcoming adaptation of Peter Brown's best-selling children's book of the same name. Originally scheduled for a September 20th release, the film has been slightly pushed back for a week and will now arrive in theaters on September 27th, 2024. The animated movie will be debuting in the same month as high-profile movies, including Transformers 1 and Beetlejuice. Okay, so it hasn't moved much, just moved 1 week, but that 1 week move can make all the difference in the world. So as we kind of thought and predicted, one of them did move, and one of them, the one that moved, was indeed Wild Robot. Again, not because I think they were afraid of Transformers 1. I think it's just the fact that they both studios had to understand, we're only hurting ourselves if we try to both put out these movies on the same day. Let's one of us move. And they probably I'm guessing, Rob, they probably had discussions amongst themselves. They probably talked to each other and came up with a compromise that one of them moves by a week. And I think this kind of fixes the problem. I mean, 1 week separation isn't ideal, but it's a lot better than both of them opening on the same day. What did you think about this?
Well, I mean, it was weird that they were coming out on the same day anyway. I mean, obviously they're sharing, I would imagine, people that like animated films, family audiences, they're targeting the same people. Now, Transformers, obviously, more boy-oriented, I think, probably. But, what is it, the Wild Robot? Mm-hmm. The Wild Robot, hey, I want to meet a wild robot. But still, it's like, why would you even do this in the first place? Like, how did somebody not think, like, perhaps we shouldn't do this? Because it's the same demographic. So I don't think they really had a choice. But, obviously, Transformers is a brand name. Transformers is, you plant your flag. I would not want to ever go up against the Transformers with an unknown quantity. As beautiful as that movie looks, and we all love Lupita Nyong'o, who's one of the most beautiful women in the world, I still think that's a good move that they've taken it off that date.
Here's the thing. I think Wild Robot makes more money at the box office than Transformers 1.
Probably. But that's when people have to see it first.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because, and I say that only because I think, and we were talking about this on the show yesterday, like, so far, I personally like the Transformers 1 stuff we've seen, but I think the Wild Robot stuff we've seen has been better.
Oh yeah, and Transformers fans are roasting the Transformers 1.
I know, which is idiotic, because here's the thing too. This is the part that to me is idiotic. I see people say, "Well, it just looks silly." Have you seen the original G1 Transformers cartoons? You think Sparkplug was heavy drama? I mean, anyway,
Soundwave.
I'm just trying to read up on, because also, like I brought up yesterday, Transformers 1 is going to be in 3D too.
Well, if you want to go see it in 3D,
but those screens are limited too, right? The 3D screens, or
yes.
It appears Wild Robot is coming out in 3D too, as well.
I mean, I don't think that's important. Like, I think a lot of movies will have the option to see in 3D. I have no desire to watch any shit in 3D. I'm not going to go see either of them in 3D, but those options will be there for some people. I don't really think it's going to make a big difference one way or the other.
Okay.
So, guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Liquid IV. You know, summer is just around the corner, and Anna and I have some of our favorite activities coming up, from hiking, swimming, going camping. But in order to do all that, you gotta stay hydrated, because you need hydration that keeps up with every moment. Just a single stick of Liquid IV makes ordinary hydration extraordinary. And for me, preparing a glass is the easiest thing in the world. Simply open up a packet, pour it into your glass of water, and enjoy. And guys, there's a reason that Liquid IV is the #1 powdered hydration brand in America. It has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. Just tear, pour, and live more. Just 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. With 8 vitamins and nutrients, non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. There's no artificial colors or sweeteners, and it's got 4 delicious sugar-free flavors: white peach, green grape, raspberry melon, and lemon lime. So turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code CAMPEA at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code CAMPEA at liquidiv.com. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Wild Robot has moved. Now, granted, only by a week, but now we won't have Transformers and Wild Robot opening on the exact same day. Good move? Do you think it should have moved even further? Maybe you don't think they needed to move at all. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.